I think by now, the large majority of rap fans are well aware of Playboi Carti's very concerning past history with domestic violence and abuse, but based on some news that broke yesterday, it seems like this trend is now continuing to spread throughout his Opium record label. So everything really kicked off yesterday morning when Destroy Lonely's ex-girlfriend Aisha took to Twitter to blow the doors wide open on just a metric fuck ton of manipulation and domestic violence that had been occurring behind the scenes. She began with a tweet alleging that Lone cracked her head open in Germany by pushing her into a bed frame, all because she was tired and didn't want to get up to roll a blunt at that exact second. I'm gonna blur the pictures because there is quite a lot of blood here, but this seems to be like the main abusive event for which Lone is being accused of, but of course things did not stop there. Aisha also revealed that Lone forbade her from listening to Don Toliver, and anytime she tried to do so, Lone would ridicule both her and Don, calling him gay. However, the second Lone and Aisha stopped talking, Lone jumped at the opportunity to go record with Don in an effort to rub it in Aisha's face. She also tweeted that Lone has apparently created a whole fake world where he acts like he has autism and he was abused growing up, to use those as excuses to treat Aisha poorly and keep her away from the weird shit that he really be on. Along with these initial allegations, we also got a video of what appears to be Lone in a bathroom with Aisha's best friend, begging her to delete something, and I promise this video will make a lot more sense later with added context.
Tell her what you just said. No, no. I'm being so 100. I would never ever in my life. I would never ever in my life. Tell her. This is between us. Tell her how much you love her and what you just said.
After the initial bombshells dropped, Lone took to his Twitter to provide some emphatic responses like "hoes mad" and "everybody know the true story, not doing no clout cap for you." Aisha continued to pile onto Lone, tweeting more accounts from their relationship, like one time she wore a white dress for him that he apparently loved until they were around Playboi Carti, at which point he switched up and started berating her about the dress. She notes that nearly every fight they had was about her saying no and speaking up for herself or defending herself if the situation called for it, and she included a pretty ridiculous story from when the two were in Tokyo. Apparently, while in Japan, Lone wanted Aisha to attend an event, but since they had just argued, she wanted to chill instead, which sparked another verbal argument and led to Aisha leaving the hotel on foot, with Lone subsequently walking behind her for 20 minutes. After this, Aisha says she gave up and returned to the hotel, where Lone snapped and choked and dragged her 3 times by the neck. Following those tweets, Aisha addressed the bathroom video, saying it was as recent as a few days ago from Paris Fashion Week, and that Lone followed Aisha's best friend into the bathroom with his security to talk about the whole situation. After this, Lone refutes her allegations, saying "bitch beat on me 1,000 times and wanna post a fake-ass injury, never cracked nobody's skull, ask my manager." Aisha then drops a very interesting tweet saying Lone forced her to miss a funeral to attend his overseas shows, only to not spend any time with her in unfamiliar cities, and she specifically says, "Guess the orders of your bisexual boss is more important. What 2 men be doing alone in the same hotel room all day?" Lone and Aisha then proceeded to go back and forth relentlessly on Twitter, with Lone continually denying the allegations and saying Aisha is chasing clout, while Aisha was persistent with revealing more and more about how Lone was manipulative and abusive towards her. Lone then went on to argue extensively with Aisha's best friend, aka the girl in the bathroom video, about what actually went down, with that whole discussion basically amounting to both of them going "nuh-uh" to each other back and forth. After all the bullshit was said and done, we finally got some real background context to all of this from Babalam over on Twitter, with him revealing that Aisha had already pressed charges against Lone for simple battery family violence, which he took a guilty plea bargain for on June 18th to lighten a potential sentence. However, However, it seems that on June 20th, he withdrew the guilty plea within the allotted 30-day window due to discovery of new information by the state, so it's likely that this withdrawal is what sparked Aisha to start posting on Twitter. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like the fact that he took a guilty plea and then withdrew it is extremely telling and is essentially Lone admitting that some degree of this entire situation is true and did happen. It's tough to know exactly what's real and what's not, since both parties are just continually nut-eyeing each other on Twitter, but I think if he was completely innocent, then there would have been no reason to even take the guilty plea in the first place. Regardless, this really isn't super surprising, considering that at this point, domestic violence is literally just on brand for the Opium record label. I'm sure we all remember in February of last year when Carti was arrested for choking his pregnant girlfriend in an argument over a paternity test, and that's really just the tip of his domestic violence allegations, with him having a rich history of being manipulative and abusive towards partners. We also can't forget Ken Carson's domestic violence case from 2021, and although those charges were eventually dropped, the police report notes his girlfriend distinctly had plenty of obvious injuries, so Ken's story that he was actually fighting a man and not her just doesn't really add up to me. We also found out yesterday from Heaven or Hell that apparently Ken stole a PS5 from Opium producer Starboy before they were cool, which required Carti to step in like a father figure to sort the whole fiasco out. And of course, we can't forget Homicide Bino messaging underage female fans because, like I said, at this point the Opium brand is intertwined with domestic violence and illegal behavior. Clearly, Lone thinks this new information obtained by the state could land him with a lighter sentence than his previous guilty plea bargain, so all we can do as fans is wait and see where this case goes in court. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments your take on this whole Destroy Lonely domestic violence case.